All right, good morning, Saints of the Most High. We are getting back into the Word, so we are at Genesis 33. And this is when Jacob Jacob meets Esau. So previously, Jacob had ran away from his brother Esau because he stole his birthright and all his inheritance. He met the woman he wanted to marry. I think her name was Rachel or Rebecca, one of the two. And he worked for the father for 7 years, and then he got just tricked into marrying the firstborn of that father, which was Leah. So he had to work for another 7 years, and then finally marry the woman that he wanted. And they had a bunch of kids and everything. But then the woman he married, Rachel or Rebecca, I can't remember her name. It's I'll tell you right now. It's I don't know why I can't remember if it's Rachel or Rebecca. Rachel, yeah. So then Rachel couldn't have kids, and then the other woman, the first wife, was having a bunch of kids, and then Rebecca. So Rachel, did I say Rachel? My memory is so off right now. Rachel, and then Rachel told her slave, "Oh, you can have a kid with my husband, so we can be redeemed." And then so that happened, and there was a bunch of drama essentially. And then Rachel ended up finally having a kid with Jacob. And then they decided, God told Jacob to leave, and then he tricked the father and left. And then the father found out that they left with all the children and his daughters, and he caught up to him, and they made a peace to not have war with each other. And now Jacob is going back to his homeland to meet up with his brother, but he's terrified. And he's doing all these tricks to make sure and giving his brother gifts so he won't kill him. Because the last time, you remember, they saw each other, Esau was trying to kill Jacob because he stole his birthright and tricked his father into giving him his inheritance. So that's where we're at. So let's get right to it. Chapter 33. Chapter 33. So when Jacob looked up and saw Esau coming toward him with 400 men, so he divided the children among Leah and Rachel, and the two slave women. He put the slaves and their children first, Leah and her children next, Rachel and Joseph last. He himself went ahead and bowed to the ground 7 times until he approached his brother. But Esau ran up to meet him, hugged him, and threw his arms around him and kissed him. Then they wept. When Esau looked up and saw the women and children, he asked, "Who are these? Who are these with you?" He answered, "The children of God has graciously given your servant." Then the slaves and the children approached him and bowed their head. Leah and her children also approached and bowed down, and Joseph and Rachel approached and bowed down. So Esau said, "What do you mean by this whole procession I met?" To find favor with you, my lord," he answered. I have enough, my brother," Esau replied. "Keep what you have." But Jacob said, No, please. If I have found favor with you, take this gift from me. For indeed I have seen your face. It is like seeing God's face, since you have accepted me. Please take my present. Take my present that was brought to you, because God has been gracious to me, and I have everything I need. So Jacob urged him to accept. Then Esau said, "Let's move on, and I'll go ahead of you." Jacob replied, "My Lord knows that the children are weak, and I have nursing flocks and herds. If they are driven hard for one day, the whole herd will die. Let my Lord go ahead of his servant. I will continue slowly at a pace suited to the livestock and the children until I come to meet my Lord at Seir." Esau said, "Let me leave some of my people with you." But he replied, "Why do that? Please indulge me, my lord." That day Esau started on his way back to Seir, but Jacob went to Succoth. He built a house for himself and shelters for his livestock, and that is why the place is called Succoth. After Jacob came from the Padanaram, he arrived safely at Shechem in the land of Canaan and camped in the front of the city. He purchased a section of the field where he had pitched his tent from his sons of Hamor, Shechem's father, for 100 pieces of silver. And he set up an altar there and called it God of Israel. All right, chapter 34 says Dinah defiled. So Leah's daughter Dinah, I don't know how to say it. Leah's daughter Dinah, who Leah bore to Jacob, went out to see some of the young women of the area. When Shechem, son of Hamor, the Hivite, who was the region's chieftain, saw her, he took her and raped her. He became infatuated with Jacob's daughter Dinah. He loved the young girl and spoke tenderly to her. "Give me this girl as a wife," he told his father. Jacob heard that Shechem had defiled his daughter Dinah, But since his sons were with his livestock in the field, he remained silent until they returned. Meanwhile, Shechem's father Hamar, came to speak to Jacob. Jacob's sons returned from the field when they heard about the incident, and they were deeply grieved and very angry. For Shechem had committed an outrage against Israel by raping Jacob's daughter, and such a thing should not be done. Hamor said to Jacob's son, "My son Shechem has his heart set on your daughter. Please give him to her as his wife. Intermarrying with us, give your daughters to us, and take our daughters for yourselves. Live with us. The land is before you. Settle here and move about and acquire property in it." Then Shechem said to Dinah's father and brothers, "Grant me this favor, and I'll give you whatever you say. Demand of me a high compensation and gift, and I will give you whatever you ask of me. Just give the girl to be my wife." But Jacob's son answered Shechem and his father Hamor deceitfully, because he had defiled their sister Dinah. "We cannot do this thing," they said to them. "Giving our sister to an uncircumcised man is a disgrace to us. We will agree with you only in this condition. If all your males are circumcised as we are, then we will give our daughters and take your daughters for ourselves, live with you and become one people. But if you will not listen to us and be circumcised, then we will take our daughters and go." The words seemed good to Hamor and his son Shechem. The young man did not delay doing this, because he was delighted with Jacob's daughter. Now he was the most important in all of his father's family. So Hamor and his son Shechem went to the gate of the city and spoke to the men of the city. "These men are peaceful towards us," they said. "Let them live on our land and move about it, for indeed the region is large enough for them. Let us take their daughters and our wives and give our daughters to them. But the men will agree to live with us and be one people on only in this one condition: if all the men are circumcised as they are. Won't their livestock and their possessions and their animals become ours? Let us agree with them, and they will live with us." All the men who had come to the city of the gates listened to Hamor and his son Shechem, and all those men were circumcised. On the third day, when they're still in pain, two of Jacob's sons, Simeon and Levi, Dinah's brothers, took their swords into the unsuspecting city and killed every male. They killed Hamor and his son Shechem with their swords, took Dinah and Shechem's house, and went away. Jacob's son came to slaughter and plunder the city, because their sister had been defiled. They took their flocks, herds, donkeys, whatever in the city, in the field. They captured all the possessions, dependents, and wives, and plundered everything in the house. Then Jacob said to Simeon and Levi, "You have brought trouble upon me, making me odious to the inhabitants of the land, the Canaanites and the Perizzites. We have a few in number. If they unite against me and attack me, I and my house will be destroyed." But they answered, "Should he treat our sister like a prostitute?" And for real, I'm not gonna lie, like, that's why you don't do stuff like this. The wrath of a man, of a brother, doing something like that. I can imagine what I would do if that happened to my daughter, or my sister. So, all right, chapter 35. Return to Bethel. God said to Jacob, "Get up, go to Bethel and settle there. Build an altar there to the God who appeared to you when you fled from your brother Esau." So Jacob said to his family and all who were with him, "Get rid of the foreign gods that are among you. Purify yourselves and change your clothes. We must get up and go to Bethel. I will build an altar there to the God who answered me in the day of my distress. He has been with me everywhere I have gone." Then they gave Jacob all of their foreign gods and their earrings, and Jacob hid them under an oak near Shechem. When they set out, a terror from God came over the cities around them, and they did not pursue Jacob's sons. And so Jacob and all who were with him came to Luz, which that is Bethel, in the land of Canaan. Jacob built an altar there and called the place El Bethel, because it was there that God had revealed himself to him when he was fleeing from his brother. Deborah, the one who had nursed and raised Rebekah, died and was buried under the oak tree, or the oak south of Bethel. So Jacob named it Alon Bakuth. God appeared to Jacob again after he turned to Paddan, and he blessed him. Verse 10. God said to him, "Your name is Jacob. You will no longer be named Jacob, but your name will be Israel." So he named him Israel. God said to him, "I am God Almighty. Be fruitful and multiply a nation. Indeed, an assembly of nations will come from you, and kings will descend from you. I will give you the land that I gave Abraham and Isaac. I will give you the land to your future descendants." Let me see. Then God withdrew from him at a place where he had spoken to him. Jacob set up a marker at the place where he had spoken to him, a stone marker, and he poured a drink offering on it and anointed it with oil. Jacob named this place where he had spoken to God with him Bethel. Verse 16. They set out from Bethel, and when they were still some distance from the Euphrates, Rachel began to give birth, and her labor was difficult. During the difficult labor, the midwife said to her, "Don't be afraid, for you have another son." With her last breath, she was dying. She named him Ben-Oni, but his father called him Benjamin. So Rachel died, and she was buried on the way to Euphrates. That was Bethlehem. Jacob set up a marker on her grave. It is the marker of Rachel's grave still today. Israel's son. Israel set out again. This is the title, Israel's son, verse 21. Israel set out again, and Israel is, remember Jacob. Okay, Israel set out again and pitched his tent beyond the Tower of Eder. While Israel was living in that region, Reuben went in and slept with his father's concubine Bilhah, and Israel heard about it. Jacob had 12 sons. Leah's sons were Reuben, which is Jacob's firstborn, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Eshkar, and Zebulun. And then Rachel's sons were Joseph and Benjamin. And the sons of Rachel's slave Bilhah were Dan and Naphtali. And the sons of Leah's slave Zepho were Gad and Asher. These are the sons of Jacob who were born to him in Padanaram. So now, verse 27. Jacob came to his father Isaac at Mamre and Kiriath Arba. That is Hebron. That's the city, Hebron, where Abraham and Isaac had stayed. Isaac lived 180 years. He took his last breath and died, and was gathered to his people old and full of days. His son Esau and Jacob buried him. Now we're on chapter 36, baby. All right, these are the family records of Esau. Oh, this can be a long name reading. Hold on. Oh, Lord. Come on. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Esau's family. These are the family records of Esau, that is Edom. Esau took his wives from Canaanite women, Adah, daughter of Elon the Hethite, Oholibama. It's funny. Oholibama, daughter of Anah, and the granddaughter of Zibeon and the Hivite, and Basemath, daughter of Ishmael and sister of Nebaioth. Abba bore Eliphaz to Esau. Basemath bore Reuel, and Oholibama bore Jehus, Jalam, and Korah. These are Esau's sons who were born to him in the land of Canaan. Esau took his sons and his wives, sons and daughters, and all the people of his household, as well as his herds, all of his livestock, and all the property he had acquired in Canaan, and went to the land away from his brother Jacob. For the possessions were too many for them to live together. And because of their herds, the land where they stayed could not support them. So Esau, that is Edom, lived in the mountain of Seir. These are the family records of Esau, father of the Edomites of the mountains of Seir. These are the names of Esau's sons. Eliphaz, son of Esau's wife Adah. Reuel, son of Esau's wife Basemath. The sons of Eliphaz were Taman, Omar, Zopho, Gatam, and Kenaz. Timnah, a concubine of Esau's son Eliphaz, bore Amalek and Eliphaz. These are the sons of Esau's wife Adnah. These are the Reuel's sons, Nahath, Zahir, Shamath, and Mizah. These are the sons of Esau's wife Basemath. These are the sons of Esau's wife Oholibama, daughter of Anah and granddaughter of Zibeon. She bore Jehush, Jalam, and Korah to Edom. These are the chiefs among Esau's sons. The sons Eliphaz, Esau's firstborn, Chief Teman, Chief Omar, Chief Zopho, and Chief Kenaz, Chief Korah, Chief Gatam, and Chief Amalek. These are the chief descendant from Eliphaz in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Ada. These are the sons. Okay. I'm going to skip down here to verse 20. Oh, no. So we know there's a big old family. I'm just going to read it. No, I'm not going to skip. Okay, verse 17. These are the sons of Reuel, Esau's son, chief Nahath, chief Zerah, chief Shammah, and chief Mizah. These are the chiefs descended from Reuel in the land of Edom. These are the sons of Esau's wife, Basemath. These are the sons of Esau's wife, Oholibamah, chief Jehush, chief Jalam, and chief Korah. These are the chiefs descended from the Esau's wife, Oholibamah, daughter of Anah. These are the sons of Esau, that is Edom. These are their chiefs. These are the sons of Seir, the Horite, the inhabitants of the land: Lotan, Shabal, Zibeon, Anah, Dishon, Ezer, and Dishon. These are the chiefs among the Horites, the sons of Seir in the land of Edom. We're almost done. We're almost done with the names. We're so close. The sons of Lotan were Hori and Heman, Tema and Lotan's sister. These are Shobal's sons: Alvan, Manahath, Ebal, and Shepho. I'm getting better at the names, huh? I'm getting kind of better. These are Zibeon's sons: Anai and Ai and Anai. These are Anah. This was the Anah who found the hot springs in the wilderness while he was pasturing the donkeys of his father Zibeon. These are the children of Anah: Dishon, Oholibamah, daughter of Anah. These are Dishon's sons: Hemdan, Eshban, Ithran, and Shuran. And these are Ezer's sons: Bilham, Zavan, and Achan. And these are Dishon's sons: Uz and Aran. These are the chiefs of the Horites: Chief Lotan, Chief Shobai, and Chief Zibeon, Chief Anah, Chief Dishon, Chief Ezer, and Chief Dishon. Dishon and Dishon, okay. And these are the chiefs among the Horites, clan by clan in their land of Seir. And then verse 31 is the rulers of Edom. Move over right here. These are the kings who reigned in the land of Edom. Before any king reigned over the Israelites, Bela, son of Behor, reigned in Edom and named the name of the city was Dinhaba. When Bela died, Jobab, son of Zerah, from Bozrah, reigned in his place. When Jobab died, Husham from the land of Temanites reigned in his place. When Husham died, Hadad had son had Bedad reign in his place. He defeated the Midian in the field of Moab. The name of the city was Avith. When Hadad died, Simlah from the Masrekah resigned in his place. When Samlah died, Shaul from Rehoboth of the Euphrates River resigned in his place. When Shaul died, Baal-Hanan, the son of Abner, reigned in his place. When Bahal's son of Abner died, Akbar died, Hadar reigned in his place. His city was Pa, and his wife's name was Mehetabel, daughter of Matrid, daughter of Mizahab. This is the last part, okay? We're getting to Joseph's dream. Come on. These are the names of Esau, chief according to their families, and their locations by name: Chief Timnah, Chief Alva, Chief Jeheth, Chief Oholibamah, Chief Eli, Chief Pinon, Chief Kenaz, Chief Teman, Chief Mibzar, Chief Magdiel, and Chief Aram. These are the Edom's chiefs, according to the settlements in the land they possessed. Esau was the father of the Edomites. We made that part. Oh my gosh. I did feel like reading those names, but I didn't want to skip. My goodness. Okay. I'm going to read one more chapter. We're going to read 37. Because 37 is pretty long. And that's it. Yeah, this word gets good. Names are done now. This would be good to go back if I want to study like the bloodline. But all right, Joseph's dreams. Okay. Jacob lived in a land where his father had stayed, the land of Canaan. These are the family records of Jacob. At 17 years of age, Joseph tended sheep with his brothers. The young man was working with the son of Bilhah and Zalpah, his father's wives, and he brought a bad report about them to their father. Now Israel loved Joseph more than his other sons, because Joseph was a son born to him in old age, and he made a robe of many colors for him. When his brothers saw that their father loved him more, Then all his brothers, they hated him and could not bring themselves to speak peaceably to him. Then Joseph had a dream. When he told it to his brothers, they hated him even more. He said to them, "Listen to this dream I had. There we were binding sheaves of grain in the field. Suddenly my sheaf stood up, and your sheaves gathered around it and bowed down to my sheaf. Are you really going to reign over us?" His brothers asked. "Are you really going to rule over us?" So they hated him even more because of his dream and what he had said. And just imagine as brothers, like, your daddy he has your favorite son, and that pretty much like nobody can live up to him. And like all of a sudden now, your dad makes him a super nice jacket that you've always wanted, that you're the eldest and you probably think you deserve. And he doesn't even care, doesn't even do it for you, but does it for this youngest little kid who doesn't even do much. And then your brother has a dream talking about he's gonna rule over you. Man, get out of here, bro. Yeah, I'd probably be hot. So they hated him even more because of his dream and what he said. Then he had another dream and told it to his brothers. "Look," he said, "I had another dream, and this time the sun and the moon and the 11 stars were bowing down at me." He told his father and his brothers, and his father rebuked him. "What kind of dream is this that you have had?" He said. Am I and your mother and your brothers really going to come and bow down to the ground before you?" His brothers were jealous of him, but his father kept the matter in mind. Joseph was sold into slavery now. So his brothers had gone to pasture their father's flock at Shechem. Israel's Jacob. Israel said to Joseph, "Your brothers are pasturing the flocks at Shechem. Get ready, I'm sending you to them." "I'm ready," Joseph replied. Then Israel said to him, "Go and see how your brothers and the flocks are doing, and bring word back to me." So he sent him to Hebron Valley, and he went to Shechem. And it sounds like low-key, Joseph was low-key like a snitch. Like he would probably go and tell his father what they're doing, And that's why maybe they didn't like him. I'm totally speculating. I don't know for sure. Speculating. But it sounds like, he was going to Joseph was always telling his father what was really going on. But his brothers probably didn't like that, like you're a little snitch, you were daddy two good shoes or whatever, teacher's pet, that kind of stuff. That's what it sounds like from that little thing. Okay. Okay. So he went to Shechem. A man found him there wandering in the field and asked, "What are you looking for?" "I'm looking for my brothers," Joseph said. "Can you tell me where they are pasturing their flocks?" They moved on from here, the man said. "I heard them say, 'Let's go to Dothan.'" So Joseph set out after his brothers and found them in Dothan. They saw him at a distance, and before he had reached them, they plotted to kill him. They said to one another, "Oh, look, here comes a dream expert." So jealous. So you hear the jealousy, like, there comes a dream expert, like, oh. "So now, come on, let's kill him and throw him into one of the pits. We can say that a vicious animal ate him. Then they'll see what becomes of his dreams." When Reuben heard this, he tried to save him from them. He said, "Let's not take his life." Reuben also said, "Don't shed blood. Throw him into the pit in the wilderness, but don't lay a hand on him," intending to rescue him from after and return him to his father. When Joseph came to his brothers, they stripped Joseph's robe, the robe of many colors he had on it. Then they took him and threw him into the pit. The pit was empty without water. They sat down to eat a meal, and when they looked up, there was a caravan of Ishmaelites coming from Gilead. Their camels were carrying aromatic gum, balsam, and resin, and going down to Egypt. Judah said to his brothers, "What do we gain if we kill our brother and cover up his blood? Come on, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites. Come, let's sell him to the Ishmaelites and not lay a hand on him, for he is our brother and our own flesh." And his brothers agreed. The Midianite traders passed by. His brother pulled Joseph out of the pit and sold him for 20 pieces of silver to the Ishmaelites, who took Joseph to Egypt. When Reuben returned to the pit, he saw that Joseph was not there. He tore his clothes. He went back to his brothers and said, "The boy is gone. What am I going to do?" So they took Joseph's robe, slaughtered a male goat, and dipped it in the robe in its blood. They sent the robe of many colors to their father and said, "We found this. Examine it. Is it your son's robe or not?" His father recognized it. "It is my son's robe," he said. "A vicious animal has devoured devoured him. Joseph has been torn to pieces. Then Jacob tore his clothes, put soft cloth around the waist, and mourned for his son for many days. All his sons and daughters tried to comfort him, but he refused to be comforted. No, he said, I will go down to Sheol to my son mourning. And his father wept for him. Meanwhile, the Midianites sold Joseph to Egypt, to Potiphar, an officer of Pharaoh, and the captain of the guards. All right. That was good. I know this story, so this is going to get really interesting. This next read is going to be good, guys, so yeah, stay tuned. Oh, I got to stop this.